I'm Michael Pierson from Pierson's Funeral Service. In this little video on funeral pricing, I'm going to talk about disbursements or cash advance items, and essentially these are part of the overall cost of the funeral, but they're not our charges. They're part, but they are important, and you need to know what those costs are. So I want to kind of identify what they would be. And one of the first costs that we'll oftentimes look at is the price of an obituary. And placing an obituary in a paper, it's still a thing. People will still do that. And it depends on how long it is, if there's a photo, how many days it will run, which newspaper or how many newspapers it runs in. That will determine the price. So it could be quite small or it could be very large, depending on all of those factors. Another one of the important and costly items would be the cost of cemetery space. And we don't own any cemeteries, so we can work with any cemetery that's out there. And in the city of Calgary, we have really two essentially groups of cemeteries. One is the public cemeteries, and in that realm we have the city of Calgary, who has a number of cemeteries, and the Rocky View County. And then the other group of cemeteries is private cemeteries, and essentially in Calgary that's Memorial Gardens Canada. And both of them will operate very, very differently and have different offerings. And so we can certainly talk to you a lot about the differences between those cemeteries, and you'll find elsewhere on our website a lot of information about those cemeteries and also about the rural cemeteries around Calgary, because there are lots of options in the smaller towns and communities around Calgary. Another disbursement item might be the cost of catering. When there's a funeral, it seems to me that almost always there's some type of gathering after the service where family and friends will get together and break bread, so to speak, and spend time together, renewing their acquaintances and sharing more stories about their loved one. And if it happens here in the funeral home, we can provide that reception and that catering service for you. Make it easy so you don't have to worry about the cleanup or preparation of the food or any of those details. That can be looked after here. And of course, if it's at a church, usually it's the church that would look after those costs. And sometimes the church will do that for free if you're a regular attender, and sometimes it might be important to offer them some money to look after the work that and the food that they're providing. Another cost, a disbursement item, might be the cost of having somebody perform the service, and we refer to that as an honorarium. And that's really a word that means a gift of money to a minister or a clergy or maybe a celebrant who might be the person who would look after the service and be the one responsible for overseeing everything that's going on and then actually officiating at that service. There could be other costs, other disbursement items, but those are typically the big ones. Another disbursement item might be transportation. If we need to bring the deceased in from another location, there might be cost there. And every once in a while you might find something else that's a little unusual, but really that covers the majority of the costs of disbursements. Once again, thank you for listening, and if you ever have any questions, be sure to call our office and one of our directors would be happy to help you. Thank you.